Good evening. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. Tonight we're going to talk about the soul, the creation of the soul, and how there are too many souls and not enough bodies to go around. When self awareness, or the sense of self, the ego, becomes stable enough and integrated to the point where it no longer identifies with the physical body, it is able to exist after the death of the physical body in a limited sense. And that's part of what we're going to talk about. That's what the mystery schools discovered. That is the byproduct of the invention of reading and writing that I've mentioned in my last few posts. Now, this soul, watcher self, observer self, may identify as an individual soul. It may identify as part of a collective group soul. Or if it's not strong enough, it can still identify as a reincarnating ego or a higher self that holds the fragments of the self together enough to go from lifetime to lifetime. Now, the soul needs a physical body, or it will begin to fade away. It might exist for thousands of years, but it will gradually begin to fade away. That connection with the physical body creates a resonant circuit, and it feeds both. The physical body actually creates the soul and supports the soul. And the soul, in return, supports the physical body. They create a circuit that needs each other. Now, there are not enough physical bodies in the universe for the number of souls that require them. That's because there's not enough life in the universe. That is why life is so sacred. It's why Earth is such a special place, because there is so much abundance of life on Earth here. And that's why life is sacred. We want to keep it that way. Now, life has evolved other places in the universe and is still evolving. All three types of souls have been created in other locations, other places. We call them space brothers and sisters, alien souls that did not evolve on our planet, but evolved on other planets, even though most of their home planets are now dead and do not have life upon them. And that's part of the problem. Their home planets have become lifeless. Because what happens is, so many of these souls did not understand the need for physical life, the need to have a physical body, the need for that reciprocal relationship. And everybody, there's so many of these life forms, they've said, leave the physical as fast as you can. Go, and then gradually, and this is what's sinister even, they said over eons or over thousands of years, your soul will gradually return to source. But that return to source is actually meaning it's going to dissolve into nothingness. And that's not a good thing. That's not what the cosmic intends for people. But that's what their message is. That's what the message is of evolving to the point of leaving the physical body behind. What they have done is scorned the importance of having a physical body. And it is coming to bite people now. Now, there is one group of pre-existing souls that was present at the birth of our planet, physical Earth. And they have guided and directed the evolution of life upon this planet since the very beginning. They've been called the fallen angels, and they have been incarnate in all of the life forms. They've embodied the plant life. They've embodied the simple animal life. They've evolved with every form of life present upon earth as oversouls or guiding souls. But the simple life upon Gaia has evolved as well. And it's followed its own evolutionary process to the point where they became human. They became human, and they still did not have a strong enough sense of self, a strong enough sense of ego to be fully conscious. But they're started to. And that's the point. When these life forms, these primitive humans, when they began to gain the ability of self-awareness for the first time, alien souls began incarnating into physical bodies, because for the first time these human bodies could support a higher awareness. That's where these two groups that I talk about originate from, as space brothers and sisters or alien souls. You have the atheists, the collectivist atheists that belong to a group soul, and they don't have any concept or awareness really of the spiritual metaphysical side of things. That doesn't exist for them, but their sense of identity is identified not with themselves but as a member of the group. The other faction, if you will, the other group of souls that began incarnating into primitive human bodies were what I call the zealots, or traditionalists, that came in with a superior sense of self, a strong ego, and they dominated the weaker humans. They wanted to create a master-slave relationship, and they did, because they were able to do that. Now, the other group, the original fallen angel group, was trying to minimize that effect to the extent possible, because they understood the importance and the sacredness of life. But the zealot group do not recognize the sacredness of life. And their whole message was one of anti-life, leave the body, go to the spirit, go to the soul, deny the body. Life was cheap with these people. And in today's world, there's a war going on because this particular group of people is intent upon destroying existing life upon this planet. It cannot be allowed to happen. In contrast, the other group, the collectivist group, the atheist group, well, their plans are not that great either. At least they believe they want to have life on this earth, and they want to have it in good terms. So what's happening is a need, and this need is that the fallen angels, the original fallen angels, have an alliance with the collectivists, even though that doesn't work very good, and the original simple folk, the people of heart, the people that are just developing their sense of self, developing their watcher, their observer self, their souls, that they also wish for life, wish for abundance, and not be caught up in this destructive thought, this destructive thinking, this death, this anti-life cycle that is currently trying to work itself out. This is why some of my posts are dealing with the rising through the science and technology of the collective level. We have been in a battle for Gaia, for our souls, for the soul of Gaia, and it's being won. But right now, the anti-life forces really need to be identified so that they can be instructed in the damage that they're actually doing. I'm running out of time, so we're going to need to stop here. I'm just giving you these things to think about. This is not very well known. It's probably, well, it's not politically correct, but this is the way that I believe things are. You can think about it and make up your own choice, but believe in life. Life is sacred. Check your heart. Your heart tells you that life is sacred and that the destruction of life in any form is not ever justified. It can't be. Visit my website, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my blog if you can. If you can donate a little bit, please do that. Everything's welcome. And I'll get back on track with my history posts in my next video. But I needed to bring up these things today. Have a good evening. Thank you for watching.